Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier, and thank you for stopping by. I'm always grateful. I wrote, several times that, if you want to be an economist in sub-Saharan Africa, you've also got to be an accomplished meteorologist, because rains have an outsized effect on GDP and well-being. Good rains have underpinned GDP in this part of Africa and popped it. But also because of the diffusion effect of agriculture, so many people have a bit of land. It translates into a lot of good well-being when you have good harvests. Apart from Nairobi and Mombasa, agriculture remains a key driver of growth in all the other counties. Counties with huge agricultural potential include Nakuru, Nyandarua, Kiambu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Meru, Narok and Bomet, says the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Indian tea sales to wilt as Kenyan crop jumps. Tea exports from India, the world's second biggest producer, may shrivel this year as a bumper crop in Kenya raises the risks of oversupply. Tea output in India could drop 5 to 10% this year because of poor weather in some of the major growing areas. Kenya, meanwhile, has had a bumper crop. The Kenya shilling is at a fresh 2019 high of 100.15. The Nairobi All Shares up 14.14% this year, which is a storming run. The British American Tobacco reported full-year earnings per share increased 22.452%. Gross revenue was up 5.884%. Net revenue was up 11.117%. Finance costs were down 31.579%. Profit before tax surged 20.834%. Profit after tax up 22.452%. The dividend was ratcheted 34.615% higher. Earnings per share up 22.542%. And cash and cash equivalents at the end of the year was plus 190 million shillings from minus 1.652 billion previously. They said the company performed well in Kenya and across its export markets to deliver a strong set of results. The performance was dampened by the negative impact of illicit trade in cigarettes in Kenya, incidence of which rose from 12.4% in December 2017 to 14.1% in December 2018. I said it's a big improvement from every angle. The dividend is worth 5.485%, which is a chunky slice, and it looks an attractive share in my opinion. The NSE Nairobi All Shares, I said, is up 14.14%, and the top 10 performers are as follows. NIC Bank up 39.75% since the beginning of the year. Kenya Power up 26.78% since the beginning of the year. Equity Bank up 22.96%. Safaricom up more than 20%. TransCentury up 18.64%. KCB is sixth, up 16.96%. Centum up 16.92%. Total up 14.36%. And Kenol up 12.86%, and Housing Finance 12.64%. The NSE 20 is up 8.35% year to date. Returning to that article which I was reading to you, the one about the Somali story and the Dorad invasion, to continue with that, in the first paragraph he says, the plethora of expensive cars that now jam the streets of Nairobi and the building boom on display in many parts of the city do suggest a surging economy. And that takes me to my article, Reasons for Optimism. Stock market up 14%, shilling at a 2019 high, our Eurobond, best performing Eurobond in the world, it seems. Going back to that article, anyone who knows the history and tribal dynamics of East Africa and the Horn will understand that even if the Kenyan government pulled all its troops out of Somalia, Al-Shabaab likely would still try its best to destabilize this country. That took me back to my article, Reasons for Optimism, in which I quoted Don DeLillo in Mao 2. I used to think it was possible for an artist to alter the inner life of the culture. Now bomb makers and gunmen have taken that territory. I also said, of course, what happened at the Dusit complex was a shot across the bows. And the issue really is whether it was a one-off or it will be repeated. And I think that's where we've got to focus on. And then he's going back to the Indian Ocean, talking about this Indian Ocean culture, etc. And that takes me back. He said, the rise of Islamic societies propelled young Arab and Persian men to the Indian coast from Somalia down to Mozambique. There, they married local women, converted locals to Islam, and established sophisticated coastal trading cities. And the reason they could do this was because of what Professor Ernesto has already told us, the precocity of the Indian Ocean as a zone of long-range navigation and cultural exchange is one of the glaring facts of history made possible by the reversible escalator of the monsoon. And this is where they developed the lateen sail, which allowed them to take advantage of alternating monsoon winds so as to sail their trading dhows to India and back to East Africa every 6 months. It's a tremendous story. I thank you for stopping by as always.